Over the last 10 months, you may have seen me promote an application called Parsec. This application has changed the way we play basketball video games and video games in general. Whether it's playing NBA 2K11,
covered by Peyton, the baseline J, and that one's good.
NBA Live 10 using an emulator,
Walking it up. Delivery to Richardson, going off the dribble. Jason Richardson.
playing NBA Street Volume 2 using an emulator,
The J.U. Whites coming down hard.
or NBA Live 16 with the Xbox Companion app.
And now he moves around. Oh, that's a devastating dunk.
Let's get into why this application is so awesome. Hi everybody, this is D for 3. You may know me from the NLSC forums or just from the basketball gaming community in general, and I really wanted to make this video to promote this application. This application has changed the way we play basketball video games over the last year or so, and I actually discovered it through a NLSC user, I am Sluggy, also Sluggy Sports, who created a thread in the NBA 2K20 section stating, hey, have you guys seen this application? Have you tried it before? This game allows you to play online with basically anybody on any game. And once I installed Parsec, and by the way, they're not paying me to promote this. I have no affiliation outside of just using the product with Parsec. I just love it that much. But once I installed this application and started using it, I just didn't want to stop. It brought back a lot of great memories of a lot of local play experiences on some of these older games that I had with my brothers. The 5-on-5 one person uses each team experience, or those co-op experiences, etc., that we used to have, when we used to really have fun with basketball games. So I wanted to go over how to use this application and the optimal settings and why it's just so great. As it even says on their website, like you can see in front of you, it says start playing around. Parsec. Parsec connects you and your friends to the games you love from anywhere, on any screen. All you need is a PC, some internet, and our free app. The app is totally free. It takes about 5 minutes to set up the application after you download it, and you're hitting the ground running. And it really is that. You are able to play basically any game off of your PC with anybody, whether it be, your Steam games, if it's your emulator games, or, if you're even using something like the Xbox Companion app, the console companion, you can play Xbox One games with anybody. And it is just absolutely amazing. We have had so many great games with this app over the last 10 months or so. Some of them are on the NLSC YouTube, which I sent over to Andrew to upload, and some of them are on my channel. But, for example, Andrew owns the PC version of NBA Live 96, and I don't. But what he did was he hosted this using Parsec. You can see the Parsec logo here up in the top left-hand corner. And he hosted this game. I connected to him on Parsec, and we played a game against each other on NBA Live 96 using a work-in-progress mod and all-time teams roster project. So, there's me with the Celtics. I'm using Larry Bird there, and there he is with Jordan and whatnot using the Bulls. This is unbelievable. So this game obviously doesn't have regular online play. Andrew does not have strong internet. He lives in Australia, and as you know, their internet is just not good. He has a great plan, or the best plan that he can get in that area, but it's just not great internet, and I'm still able to connect with him. I live an hour outside of Boston, and play these games with him, and it feels good. You can see this is the Parsec logo here up at the top left. If there's a moment of lag, there's a yellow bar icon that comes up and basically tells you that there's a little bit of the connection isn't as strong as it should be. but almost every single person that I have connected with has had a strong experience, even if they have average internet, even if they're on Wi-Fi, even if they're using an old MacBook on Wi-Fi, etc. It just blows me away. Just a couple of other examples before I get into the optimal settings and the application and whatnot. We've been running tournaments. So we have the NBA Live 10 tournament, which we already finished. And if you look, we had 8 different users from all around the world. And we played series, got all the way up to the finals. I ended up winning this tournament, but it was just so fun. Like, I just had a really good time. This was actually a very competitive series here with Cavs 4872. But we're able to run tournaments on these old games with these apps. You can just connect with people all around the world. We're in the middle of an NBA Jam on Fire Edition tournament. We just reached the semifinals, and unfortunately 4 people have been eliminated. But again, all different, mostly different users. And we're doing another tournament on a game that's not online anymore. This is a game I can host right off of my Xbox One using the Xbox Companion app. Andrew and I have played through a good portion of Road Trip doing this and whatnot, and it's ridiculous. So just a few other examples really quick of things you can do. This is me and Sticky Fingers.
There's a way for 2. It's good. And the miss.
This is me and Sticky Fingers using my Xbox One Companion app. So I was the host, he connected to me, and we played against each other on NBA Live 16 for the Xbox One. This game was not online anymore when we were doing this, and it worked amazing for him, and we had a really competitive game, had a lot of great highlights, and he was playing it, and he was like, wow, this game is better than I remembered, or better than I expected, and whatnot. So that's another bonus of this, people out there who may not own a game, they will have the opportunity to try a game if somebody else has it and can host. So that's another perk to the program. And it's also amazing for co-op. So this right here is me and I want to say Stildo, Stildo33, Ken, who was actually a guest on the NLSC podcast, playing on the same team on NBA Jam on Fire Edition, and just playing against the computer for an exhibition game. A lot of fun. This game is great to connect with people on. This is one of the games we're also having the tournament on. So again, great for co-op, great for head-to-head. Another amazing experience that we ended up having was playing 4-player co-op. So it's not just one person that can connect with you. I had 3 people connect with me as the host, and it was a great experience, super fun. It was me and Andrew versus Ermoli and Q, who's also a team member on the NLSC forums. And here it is. So this was on NBA Jam actually 2010. So we were using the emulator. I own the physical game, but it works better through the emulator, and this also allowed me at this point to run it through Parsec. But how crazy is this? This is all 4 of us connected at the same time playing, and sorry about that. All 4 connected at the same time playing, and it worked excellent. This opens up a lot of different opportunities, whether it's wanting to play blacktop on like NBA 2K22, whether it's wanting to play, controlling all 5 players, whether it's playing like NBA Street Volume 2, multiple players on the same team, whether it's, whatever opportunities you can think of, it might be possible using this application. So let's see here, a couple other strong points to make. Mods. So NLSC, known as a great modding community, you can connect with somebody who has these mods and play them. And you could play seasons with them using these mods. It is absolutely wild. For example, this is NBA 2K10, and I connected with Twitter user at B-Ball Video Games, and we decided to play using the 96-97 roster, and it worked amazing. He actually ended up beating me in this game, but We had a great connection. The mod looks absolutely amazing. He was floored by how great this program worked, and he would never have been able to possibly experience this mod without connecting with me using this application, as he doesn't have the game himself for PC. So this opens up things like what at King J Mace is doing, which is the whole Elite Street League mod on NBA 2K22, where he's starting a My League with that mod, and he's having people connect with him from all over the world, and they're getting games in with him, and he's streaming it, and I think it's also elevating his social media channels and the channels he's just sharing that content on. So that is something that I really wanted to show you guys, all the different things that you can do with this. Basically the possibilities are endless. So basically what's going to happen is after you install Parsec, you will have, this will be your handle. So you'll have like a handle that you create, and they'll tag a bunch of numbers on the end of it. And after that, what you'll end up doing is seeing, you'll have like your desktop that will show up here, and then any of your friends that you end up adding will be shown on this computer's screen. Your friends, and I actually have like basically all of these people I've connected with, which is wild, and I've had great gaming experiences with all of them. Like, look at this list. And this is just over the last 10 months or so, and we created an NLSC Discord too, where we help, people connect, and, I connect with people on that as well. But basically, in order to add a friend, you're just going to put in their username after they tell you what it is, and you'll be able to add them to your friends list, and then they will show up on here. Basically, if you're going to connect with them, you would just hit connect, and they would get a notification, and you would hit accept. And they would hit accept, and then you're connected, and you can see their PC. The majority of the time, what you're seeing, it's like you're in the room. It's really high quality. The like the graphics and whatnot, it looks great. You can hear the volume from their PC, all of that stuff. It's like you're in the room with them, basically. The settings, this is what I recommend, and I have these on a thread too on the NLSC, which I will share in the description of this video. The settings, these are what I find to be optimal for performance, and it matches what I saw on a Reddit thread that said these are the best settings, this is what seems to work the best to reduce lag, all of that stuff. So this would be the client. So this would be if you weren't hosting, this would be your settings for when you connect with other people. I usually leave the overlay on, overlay warnings on. Window mode, I definitely put it in full screen. Renderer, Direct 3D 11. VSync off. Decoder, AMD. And VSync off or on, do what you want with that. Both work great. H.265 off. Immersive mode off. Now I have an AMD card, so some of my settings might differ a little bit slightly from the ones that you put in if you're on NVIDIA, but just to keep that in mind, put your settings in as close as you can to these. Hosting enabled, put enabled. Host name, you're not going to change that. Resolution, keep host resolution. Bandwidth limit, 50 Mbps. FPS 240, and this is important. So I've had people say, well, I changed it to 60 because that's all I can get on my computer, and so I want it to match. And what they realized is that they actually ended up having worse performance from the application. I also only go up to 60 FPS. I'm playing on a 50-inch TV. That's how my computer is hooked up. But 240 easily works the best. So don't go by what your refresh rate is or whatnot on your computer. Put this at 240. Give it a try. I've had everybody using these settings, and it worked great. Exclusive input mode on. Display. Generic PNP, that usually defaults to that. Audio, default, that usually just defaults to that. Echo canceling off, and just keep this on Xbox 360. The beautiful thing, and lowest latency is fine too. Lowest latency for quality, you would expect, well, maybe the screen wouldn't look as good, but the screen still looks absolutely awesome, even with lowest latency. And I've actually had people say that they've had no lag. I've had people that I've played in the tournament say that they've had no lag. I've had hosting sessions where two people connected with me and both players said they had no lag. That's how good this application works the majority of the time. So that's what I would recommend for client and host settings. Other than that, I wouldn't mess with anything else, really, as far as like, let's see here. Because, yeah, and that's the other point, actually, I wanted to bring up gamepads. So you can use a PS3 controller, PS4 controller, PS5 controller, Xbox 360 controller, Xbox One controller, Series X controller. All of those controllers work. You can even use a generic gamepad, like one from, back in the day and whatnot, and it will recognize it because it's acting like you are in the room with the other user. So, like, for example, I use an Xbox One wireless gamepad, and I've never connected with somebody where it didn't recognize my gamepad or like there was any issues with it or whatnot. So just to keep that in mind, I've had people connect with me with PS4, PS5 controllers, wireless, wired. Again, it's acting like you're in the room with the other person, so there shouldn't be a problem with any gamepads really working. And then that's basically it. So I definitely wanted to promote this application. It is absolutely excellent. The possibilities with it are endless. So I want you to go to this thread if you still have questions on installing. And I created this thread over on the NLSC. One moment. It's called Parsec Install Link and Optimal Settings. They make sure to note on there that it's free. And basically what this thread does is it gives you the link to go download the application. And it's right here. And it goes over the settings that I just went over, basically, with screenshots. It also shows you videos of me connecting with people and those experiences with those people. We're going to be running a lot more tournaments with the NLSC over the next few years using this application. We're going to be uploading a lot of gameplay videos as well, and we want you in on the action. So please reach out to me with any questions or make comments on this video on YouTube if you have any questions. But get on Parsec and start gaming with people.